Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you guys for joining me for another live show. I go live on most Mondays through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm also on Twitter live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At the same time, I am here. Guys, we're just going to go ahead and start off with a word of prayer. We got to talk about this Jasmine Ratchet Ghetto Crockett. Dear Father, in Jesus' name, thank you so much, God, for grace, for mercy, for truth. We thank you and we are honored that you have chosen us as your very own. We pray that we live our lives as a testament of your goodness and that we see ourselves as belonging to you forever and always. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, don't forget to like the video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications, stick around to the end. Let's go. All right, so you saw the thumbnail is actually entitled CNN Expose the Democrats. It's not just Jasmine Crockett. It's Stacey Plaskett, a delegate out of the Virgin Islands, another demon rat, okay? And it just looks really, really bad. Y'all, they have been so bloodthirsty to use this whole Jeffrey Island client list thing to try and smear President Donald John Trump. That's what they've been doing. But yet, the Democrats seem to be falling back in the very trap that they have set for our president. You know, God doesn't like ugly. Okay, I repeat, God does not like ugly. We're going to go ahead and go through some things. You know, I do not like CNN as a network. I'm not a fan of the lamestream media. You've got Caitlin Collins. One of y'all thinks she started off as another person, but I'm not going to get into that. Before I start, let me say hey to everybody. I almost forgot. All right, so we've got Thomas Garigliano, Crockett DEI a-hole. Okay, MAGA Tamara. Hello, Linda. Hello, Calvin. Have a good show. I'll see you guys soon. Kenny Cooper. Hello. Good evening, y'all. That was a powerful show last night, and I have the same beliefs as Linda, so I had to become a member. Well, welcome, Kenny Cooper. Stanley Dogs. Hello, everyone. Iron Ear says hello. Yes, that was you, MAGA Tamara. I got to skip over that. I don't know if I want to show that. How come we are showing up different? I don't know. Iron Ear says hello to MAGA Tamara. Let's see. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. We've got My Girls H. Hello. And let's see. Is there anybody else? I want to make sure I don't skip over you guys. If I do, it says, how are you, My Girls H? I keep asking, but have you heard from Fed Up Patriot? I don't know where Fed Up Patriot is. I don't know where Michael Rodriguez is. Yes. Let me see. MAGA Tamara, this is why I think Elon and Trump set that trap for the Democrats by having Elon say something about Trump and Epstein. Yes. And they just fell into the trap. That could have been so true. Layla, good evening, fam. She's saying good evening. We also have Dwayne Harris. Good evening from Paris Island. Ooh, Paris Island. SK Abstract Art. Hi, fam. All right. And let's see. I think I said hello to everybody. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started with this clip right here. This is CNN with, you know, Caitlin Collins. Now, MAGA Tamara, what you said about her. That's kind of, yeah, she's not very feminine in the face. I'll just leave it like that.
Democrat who's been on defense over Jeffrey Epstein is Stacey Plaskett. She represents the Virgin Islands. She was texting with Jeffrey Epstein the day of Michael Cohen's hearing. Her questions pretty closely followed the text messages between the two of them to ask about Rona Graff, Trump's longtime assistant. You were defending her today, or in recent days, yesterday, and you talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker.
Yeah, look at this. Lee Zeldin responds. He says, yes, Crockett, a physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who is a totally different person than the other one, donated to a prior campaign of mine. No freaking relation, you genius. I got to go off on Jasmine Crockett, girl. Just stop talking. You know what? No. Don't stop talking. Keep talking. Democrats, keep talking. Talk more. Just keep talking more and more. And Republicans, let them talk. Just let them talk. Just let them talk now. Just let them just tie themselves up with their own mouths.
Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided.
Okay, so this heifer, y'all forgive me, but that's just a Southern thing. Heifer, Heffa. It's not a curse word or anything. It is a derogatory term. This heifer is going to actually, she thinks that she knew that she was talking about the Jeffrey Epstein, okay? She knew in her mind, she was trying to use that as against the Republicans, saying, you guys gonna say he donated to us, or we got money from him. Well, you guys got money from Jeffrey Epstein. And she gave the names. And one of them was Lee Zeldin. And you saw that post. He said that's a doctor, that they got the same name, but that's a doctor and it is a totally different person. Why would you bring it up when it has to do with Stacey Plaskett texting during the Michael Cohen hearing? Of course, you were trying to get us to believe that it is the Jeffrey Epstein. That's why you brought it up. These people are so, they're horrible. They're horrible.
To spring this on us in real time. I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey.
She specifically said a Jeffrey Epstein. I got to go back because this heifer will lie like breathing.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly.
She did say somebody named Jeffrey. Okay. She did say that. Okay, we'll give her that.
FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says, is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC.
All right. She said they only had 20 minutes. And you didn't have time to make sure because you only had 20 minutes. Well, if you don't have time to make sure, then don't present that evidence or false evidence or that information, because that makes them look like idiots. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I don't mince my words on this channel. It's too harsh for some people, but I don't know how to play that little nice thing with all that sugar. Too much sugar is bad for you. You need a bitter pill sometimes, okay? The truth is the truth. She knew that she was trying to reference the one because that's why they were there. They've been trying to smear President Trump with this sex offender for some months now. That's what they've been doing, but yet they did not mention it while Biden was in office. I got some various clips. This is going to blow your mind. This is going to blow your mind. This is how sick and ridiculous, and they are looking dumber and dumber. And we got to go over these comments online. This is crazy. The internet has exploded over this, and I'm not going to let her off the hook. I am not going to let these demon rats off the hook. You hear me? They have given our president hell. They have conjured up some mess. So when I catch them in a lie, oh, I'm exploding with it. See, they caught in so many lies. So why should we believe them after they consistently lied? Would you just believe somebody who you know has lied to you and has a history of lying to you? That makes no sense. Literally no sense.
So number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
Well, Stacey Plaskett was texting the Jeffrey Epstein that we're all
Correct.
talking about. You voted against the censure for her to remove her from her committees. You know, we pressed the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, on this last night. Maybe you don't think she should be removed from her committees.
Correct.
But why do so many Democrats seem unwilling to say it's inappropriate to be texting with a registered sex offender about what you're going to ask a witness at a congressional hearing?
So I'm not going to necessarily say that that's the case. Now, this is somebody that was a former prosecutor. Now, I haven't sat down and talked about all the specifics of why Stacey was doing what she was doing. I know that when she got up and she spoke, she talked about the fact that this is one of her constituents. At the end of the day, what I know of prosecutors is that they are typically talking to co-defendants. They are typically talking to the people that have the best information. And what you had was the former attorney for the president that was sitting there. And honestly, we knew, or she knew, or at least Jeffrey Epstein presented that he was very cozy with the president. He had more information, registered sex offender or not. The bigger question is, why is it that the president was so cozy with a registered sex offender even after he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions?
She lied again. I'm going to play this now. Again, it's almost over.
After he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions, he was very cozy with the president. He had more information, registered sex offender or not. The bigger question is, why is it that the president was so cozy with a registered sex offender even after he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions? And seemingly he had absolutely been on the plane with him.
Okay, that's a lie. Jasmine Crockett told a number of lies here, and you know she knows that she's lying, okay? All right. And she's going to say that President Trump was cozy with Jeffrey Epstein even after his convictions. Lie. 2005, after 2005, I looked this up. There is no evidence of any communication of any kind. I repeat, no communication of any kind as of 2005 and later. There's no evidence that President Trump and Epstein had any kind of communication after 2005. It just does not exist. You have emails with Epstein talking about President Trump, but there is no evidence of communication between Trump and Epstein. There's no evidence, zero, after 2005. But he was not convicted until June 30th of 2008. So there was like 3 years by the time Jeffrey was convicted, and still no communication then in those 3 years, and then no more communication, no evidence of it. But she just said, why was he cozying up to him, a convicted sex offender, even after his conviction? But that's a lie, because there's no evidence of it since 2005, and he was not convicted. There's no evidence of communication between Trump and Epstein since 2005. And Epstein was not convicted until June 30th of 2008. And I just told you no evidence of communication between the two men since 2005. So she lied again. These people, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me just remind you what kind of person Jazzy Jazz is. Listen to this man right here.
And then there's Jasmine Crockett's grandma receiving Social Security payments for 11 years after she passed. It's time we start really putting metal to the pedal.
Yeah, remember Jasmine Crockett, her grandmother had died, and her grandmother was, I guess her family, Crockett's family, was continuing to collect on Jasmine Crockett's deceased grandmother's Social Security payments for 11 consecutive years after she died. After, allegedly, okay. I'm going to say allegedly to everything in here because, you got to say things a certain way to keep yourself from getting in any kind of legal trouble. All right. But we got some more stuff. Oh, we've got some doozies. Now, I am going to play. I'm going to play this clip again. I know Caitlin Collins already showed it. She already showed it, but I am going to play that little clip in its entirety.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, so that's her going off. And then it says right here, whoa, somebody tell Jasmine Crockett that last year a Jim Jones, not the Jim Jones, donated to Kamala Harris. Huge scandal. Yes, somebody by the name of Jim Jones, but not the Jim Jones, okay? And there is that little @blue Jim Jones donated to Kamala Harris $525, another $25. Okay. All right. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a complete and utter con artist. We got that other lady, Stacey Plaskett. Oh, we got to go with her too. But I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, let's just get this man right here. His name is James Comer. All right. This is really good, guys. Really, really good. Everybody gonna keep picking on Jasmine. I'm just gonna keep picking on her.
So let's read it to make sure. To Jeffrey Epstein, and that's the real Jeffrey Epstein, not Jasmine Crockett's Jeffrey Epstein. This is the real Jeffrey Epstein. From Hakeem Jeffries' campaign. Dear Jeffrey, we are thrilled that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars of the New York delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Hakeem is committed to electing a Democrat majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in a DCCC fundraising dinner with President Obama and Hakeem Jeffries. It ends with a number for Jeffrey Epstein to call to go to the dinner and, quote, get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Here's the evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries. So, Mr. Minority Leader, take a deep breath, chill out, stop lying, stop with the juvenile name calling, and own up to the fact that your campaign solicited campaign cash from Jeffrey Epstein.
And after he was a convicted felon. After. Okay? After. I think that was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. This was after. Okay? And this is what, here go Jazzy Jazz again. Jazzy Jazz.
We were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything and it was Joe Biden's fault. And why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability.
Okay, she said President Trump campaigned on the Epstein and we were campaigning on affordability. Well, if you were campaigning on affordability, y'all sucked. Okay? Because things were horrible under Jim Crow Joe Biden. Horrible. And cackling Kamala Harris, the borders are. But you know what? She did her job because her job was not to secure the border. Okay, so since her job was not to secure the border, she did her job talking about cackling Kamala. And that thing on her head, it looks like the challah bread that Jewish people eat. I'm serious. That look like challah bread. Y'all know that look like challah bread. Y'all know that look like challah bread. Stop. That looks like challah bread for real. Now we got to read some of these comments too. We got to read some of the comments because these people right here, I'm just going to look at the comments here. It says, nobody cares what they ghetto ratchet has to say. AOC and Crockett, 2028 is the no-brainer. Woo! AOC and Crockett, a no-brainer. And it says right here, so he campaigned on affordability and destroyed the country, then went to take a nap for 3.5 years while the rest of the party sat on his hands and told us everything was fine. What? So in that light, campaigning on affordability and making sure nothing was affordable was way more important than something they've screamed about for 10 months. This is why you don't ask a person like this a serious question. Yeah, they just pitiful. If you mean he campaigned on affordability by making things expensive as hell, then I guess this tracks. If failure was Biden's campaign promise, then he was the GOAT. He was the GOAT. 4.95% annualized inflation during the Biden administration. I like when Crockett talks because she shows what an idiot she is. That's why I say, let them talk. Let them keep talking. These people just dig themselves into a bigger hole. All right. And I had to show you that AOC and Crockett for 2028. You know what? They might just pull that mess because they are always in the public eye. But I want to show you this Stacey Plaskett, also on CNN. Lord, why they got to use the same type of person to do stupid stuff? Y'all know what I mean. It just gets on my last nerve. And here she is, Stacey Plaskett, delegate, a demon rat out of Virgin Islands.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth.
She was the one texting during the Michael Cohen hearing, okay? And you know that Michael Cohen was President Trump's attorney at one point. They called him whatever, the fixer, whatever. Not a fixer, but I would say an attorney. And so she was texting Jeffrey, all right? And also, and this is going to be very explosive. She gets caught lying.
That Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes. And as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe that.
See, she was like, he was a known sex offender at the time when you were doing this. And you see how she responded? These people keep having them on the news channels. Go on Fox, go on Newsmax. That's what I want you to do. You want to go on CNN and the BSNBC and all that. No, go on Newsmax. Go on Fox. All right. And they did push back now. They did push back. But you see what I mean? These people are so awful. I'm talking about awful. They will lie and lie and lie. And Hakeem Jeffries, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I gotta see y'all's comments because this is why the Democrats, they didn't say anything. Again, they didn't say anything while Joe Biden was in office. Well, we was focusing on affordability. Then why wasn't anything ever affordable? You idiots. And anybody, including myself, because I was an idiot for voting for them in 2020. Oh, disgusting. Y'all, I've repented so many times that I can't even begin to tell you. I'm going to see what your comments are right now. Oh, Lord. Kenny Cooper says he didn't like the president because Trump kicked him out of his resort. And also, I read some emails with you guys about how not Trump, but Epstein was communicating back and forth between, I think, with someone named Michael Wolff, saying that he's going to take Trump down. He got mad at Trump for kicking him out, for stopping communication, getting him in trouble with the law. He was mad at him. So, yeah, he wanted to take him down. And Jeffrey was always donating to Democrat politicians. Democrats. And some of the folks that Stacey Plaskett, Jasmine Crockett mentioned that received money from Epstein, these were the folks like she said George W. Bush. Yeah, seriously, Win Red is that that donation tool that the Republicans use, the GOP use that to donate. I've used that to donate to them. And also she mentioned Bob Dole. Bob Dole, he's gone. He's dead. He died back in 2021. He ran for president in the 90s. I mean, the names, and she said McCain and Palin. McCain is dead, and Palin, we don't know where she is, somewhere in Alaska. So all the stuff that they brought up was so like it doesn't make any sense. No one cares. Those people have been out of the public eye, been gone, and some of them are dead. That's just crazy. All right. It says, why is Joker Mount Jasmine wearing a pompadour 2025? I told y'all this holla bread. All right. I'm surprised that she has not been sued. Yes. All right. Iron Ear, they kept collecting her Social Security. Yes, that's in reference to her Crockett's grandmother, allegedly. Allegedly, the Crockett family had been receiving, Social Security money from Jasmine's deceased grandmother for 11 consecutive years after her death. All right. SK Abstract. I need to jump, fam. I have a fam. All right. Have a good one. Have a good one. All right. Let's see what else we got. Anybody got any questions for me? It says Crockett's too scared to appear on Fox or Newsmax. Oh, she's scared. Fame Brown said, damn shame. I mean, it is a shame. It is a shame. Kenny Cooper, but she's the size of Texas. Ooh. Are you body shaming? All right, my girl, she still ain't getting no man. Oh, now we're saying she's not getting a man. Magda Tamara, none of the Democrats talk about the fact Trump was the only person to testify against Epstein back in 2000 or 2008. But the charges were basically dropped and Epstein got probation. That's what I'm saying. Like, if President Trump was involved, like the Democrats want him to be, if he was involved, first of all, they would have said something in the last administration. And they lied again, said, well, we were too busy trying to make things affordable. You did not make things affordable. Keep talking, Democrats. Keep talking. If President Trump was all caught up in that mess, why would he tell on this man? Why would he ban him? Why would he bring it up during his first run for president back in 2015? He was bringing up Epstein then, talking about Bill Clinton got a problem with that island. Oh, he got a problem. The devil with the blue dress on and some red heels. Y'all remember that song, Devil with the Blue Dress on? All right. So, all right. My girl's off for 2 months and still didn't improve herself at all. Oh, my gosh. Oh, the border lush. Kamala Harris, the border lush. The reason Biden didn't campaign on is because he was somewhere off taking a nap by the side of the pool. That's what everybody says. Stanley Dogs. I don't remember them running on affordability. I only remember abortion. Well, they were talking about Build Back Better. That was the campaign slogan, Build Back Better. All right. And it's only a true simp would be her man because a real man wouldn't be with her. Probably not, because I was talking about this on my other channel. I have another channel called The Linda B Show. I try to steer clear of politics on The Linda B Show, but I did have one video on that. But check out The Linda B Show, guys. Really check me out there. That is a good show. I have a panel, almost always have a panel. Not every single time, but almost always, and the discussions are so amazing, guys. So check me out right here on YouTube, The Linda B Show. All right, Dwayne Harris says, I am crying. Yeah, she kind of, yeah. She's in her 40s. By the way, it's still me, Linda B. I just changed my handle. Oh, okay. All right, you changed your handle. Yes, she was actually texting him. MAGA Tamara, multiple phone calls a day makes you friends. Yes, yes. Kelly Williams, yet never thought to get at the truth of why Epstein was able to fly under the radar of the Virgin Island law enforcement. I like to see Stephen Miller get a hold of her. Oh, he will rip her to shreds. You know, a lot of MAGA people are just very direct. We just don't like sugarcoating stuff. I don't have time. I don't have time to be politically correct right now. I just have to just tell you straight up, okay? They're going on about Trump's pics with young women. Of course there are. He owned Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA, but they don't mention that part of the photos. And their photos with them with clothes on. These women have clothes on, okay? And then they always resort to, well, y'all want to talk about, you know, him being a felon. What about y'all got texted and communicated with a 34 count felon? Anybody with good sense know that those 34 counts were BS. Okay. All right. Iron Ear has a question. I have a question. How long before Christians rise up against Muslims countrywide? I don't know. I don't know. Jasmine's from Missouri, a carpetbagger, not Democrats, but Democrats are disgusting. Fame Brown, woo, that's a good one. That's interesting. And Bernie says, Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels sang that song. You sing it better, Linda. Oh, I didn't know who sung it. I had no earthly idea. I just remember hearing it. All right, she patted the fat back too. Oh, ooh. Ooh, y'all saucy tonight. Y'all salty. Did y'all get the good night's sleep the night before? Y'all so salty. You are so salty. Guys, that is what I have for tonight. Don't forget to like this video, though. I need you guys to like the video and share and all the things. And don't forget to watch me on the Linda B Show, guys. So I do not have any lives Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anybody have a question before we wrap this up? Any questions? Let's see. It says, you give us good material and we run with it. Yes, run with it. Run. All right, just run with it. I want you guys to share my videos and all the things and catch my videos that I pushed out today, Warriors. But thank you guys so much for watching me tonight. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors. Good night, everybody.